now watching Animal Expedition Files.
Wake up with your favorite station. Online, digital, and on your smartphone.
It's time for your favorite host.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Animal on the Animal Expedition Files. Thank you so much for joining us on a Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much for joining us. Please like and subscribe on the page. It's been a bit since I've been on. I've been fighting this whole cold and stuff that's been going on. Usually I have a co-host, Jessica, that's with me on Wednesday nights, but she is working tonight, so she will not be joining me tonight. But I will have an amazing guest on tonight, so you don't want to miss out on that. But we got some amazing news. We got quite a few news here that are going on this past week. One's a conspiracy theory, and one, actually they're both conspiracy theories, but kind of. But this first one's about Aaron Godwin's wife tried to kill him. And she was arrested a week before alleged plot to have him killed. It says Victoria Godwin was arrested in Clark County, New on March 6 on charges of soliciting to commit murder and conspiring to commit the murder. Victoria Godwin, the wife of Ghost Adventurers star Aaron Godwin, who was arrested last week on charges for conspiracy, posted several photos of the pair appearing to be happy in the week leading up to her arrest. Very interesting on there. 1 week before her arrest on March, Victoria, 32, shared a photo of herself and her husband along with their pet cat cuddling up together on the couch, showing no hint of the trouble to come. Well, yeah, very interesting stuff, I don't know if you guys watch Ghost Adventures, but yeah, his wife is trying to kill her husband. Very interesting stuff, that's going on. Also, another interesting thing that's going on here, I kind of wanted to share with you on video. Excuse me, I'm still with that goal, but there's been things going on with sirens lately here. Speaking of conspiracy, this is a weird one, okay? Some people think it's I don't know. They don't think it's real, but you never know. It's a conspiracy. That's why we talk about it and we have fun about it. But there's rich people having mermaid parties and eating mermaids. I don't know if you heard about this, but I'm going to share a little video here. It's been going around on TikTok and on the news here, but check this out. See what you think.
Yup, this is it for us, as the rich are now eating biblical mermaids and they are starting a war we cannot finish. People were terrified after a fisherman, Landon, went viral for exposing that he reeled in something that turned his face pale white, describing the creature as biblical as it was not only 5 feet tall, gray, had gills all over its face, but half human looking, and it's exactly as the biblical verses describe. And it's happening all over Hollywood right now, hiding in plain sight, and their bodies are being stored inside the celebrity mansions. But it gets worse, as Landon describes huge fishing companies that are marketed as finding exotic fish are actually dedicated to hunting this, using sonar equipment to find mermaids, and their human-shaped bodies are being used for dinner. With the Book of Enoch at 19:2 calling mermaids our fallen angels, and modern Hollywood often being referred to as demonic, many have referred to when demons start eating angels, it will be over for all of us very soon. And if we never hear from Landon again, we will all know he was telling the truth.
So, if you were hearing that, but yeah, pretty much rich people are eating mermaids on the table with a whole bunch of, they're having these mermaid parties. But we're gonna talk about that with our guest here, Adam. I can see Adam in the background. He's shaking his head. But we're going to be talking about it. It's some crazy shit that's going on in this world, but we're going to be chatting about it. Let's bring our good friend Adam here. What's up?
What? That's quite the intro. I don't even know if I can top that. That's pretty wild.
I don't know, man. There's rich people having mermaid parties. Apparently, legend says that apparently there was a guy that was invited to this party, and he went into this back room that had all these big fish tanks, and there was these type of fish that knew, and it looked like a woman with a tail, and he was describing that they were aware that where they were at, and when he was at the table, then he went to the dinner table, he it was like 5 feet long, actually a little over, with two handles, and when they opened it, the top, and they said it was like it had a long dorsal fin with a woman's face. It is weird stuff. So that's stuff.
I mean, it's not really cannibalism. It's because it's not. I mean, but is it human? But we don't know. Is it? Are you eating? I mean, boy, that's fucking weird, man. I'm not sorry to swear, but oh God, I'm showing them. I've never heard. I haven't heard that. You told me about it, and I was like, what?
Yeah. If you guys ever check it out, look on TikTok or on the news, anywhere in the news. Check it out with rich people having mermaid parties. You'll find it just like this whole craze just started like a couple of days ago. I just heard about it.
And of course, leave it to the rich, because you hear about these eyes wide shut parties where they go around sacrificing kids, and these gay parties, and they're doing just weird shit, fucking like chairs and goats. As someone put in the chat, they put is like eating a unicorn or drinking unicorn blood. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's kind of taboo, kind of. Of course, living in Maine my whole life, all you hear about is mermaid lore by the coast, by New Brunswick, by the coast of Maine, by lighthouses.
Yeah.
Beautiful creatures, fable creatures, like in that movie, The Lighthouse. Remember the almost like a demonic type of siren, but to eat them like that, oh boy, wild.
I don't know if
that's a new one.
If you're just getting on this show and listen to, if you didn't see the video, it's we're just hey Gene, how's it going? Gene was actually on my show a week ago. I think it was a week ago.
She's amazing, and if another fellow man, she's actually a client of mine. I'm actually her booking agent, believe it or not. But yeah, she's a cryptozoologist and a big cat chaser, as you know, here in Maine. So she would know about mermaids, I'm sure.
Do penguins have knees? I do not know.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Boy, oh boy, you guys are the good right off the bat.
I know. There's so many good questions. And Damien, man, where have you been, man? It's been like 20 years since you've been on. I haven't seen you in forever, bro. This guy is nuts. He is up like 24/7 drinking Red Bull. He's in Scotland. He never sleeps. This guy is like either Bigfoot hunting, or he's like going in these castles, and like
he's a Scotland. He's looking for banshees and shit.
I don't know, man. He's a pretty interesting dude. He's a good friend.
I gotta ask, do you mind if I smoke? I have a medical card. It's legal in Maine. Marijuana is legal.
Yeah, it is here too in Florida, which is.
Oh, you're based out of Florida, right on. Okay, I've been to Orlando a couple times.
I was actually in a meeting in Orlando not too long ago. It's always also a good time up there. But let's talk a little bit about you. How did you start out? And before we get into like some conspiracy theories and stuff like that, where did you start out doing this? What you're doing?
Oh man, my whole life's conspiracy theories. Okay, so I'm not short of talking, as you notice. I don't mind talking. So not gonna lie, man. I was born and raised right here in Maine, born in Lewiston, Maine, but I actually grew up in Lisbon, Maine. I went to the same high school Stephen King went to, Lisbon High School. History Channel was there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So before Stephen King, even I'm talking like 1988. So I'm like 6, 7 years old, and my mom's father, my papa, dies, and I'm as old as been Maine. My mom's flipping the whole nine. That was my favorite. He was always right there with me, as far as family go. He was, and he came to me, man. He woke me up, and I thought it was a dream, but I feel like it was so real. And he walked me to in my sleep to the fridge and told me to take care of mama and all this stuff. And I found out years later that my sister actually saw him, who was younger than me. But my aunt saw my sister talking to the ceiling, talking to him the next day too. So I feel like we both saw him. So like I said, fast forward a couple of years, and I find out I'm going to the same high school as Stephen King. When I first watched The Shining at 9 years old, my mom goes, "You're going to the same high school as him?" I go, "Huh?" So I start getting into King, and I'm digesting that shit. And at 15 now, in 1996 or so, my dad's father dies right in front of me at Central Maine Medical Center, where Stephen King went when he got hit by that car a couple of years back. They used to hang people in Lewiston, Maine. They used to hang people back in the day, and that's where they hung them. Was in the city, was right. I did some research because that's where I'm from, Lewiston, Lisbon. Yeah. It's right next door. That's where Muhammad Ali had that fight too. And Central Maine, the medical center where I went, Central Maine Medical Center. Long story short, the hospital is where they hung people. That's where I was born, and that's where I saw my grandfather die in front of me, flatline, vomit, eyes rolled back, the whole fucking night at 15. I saw it. So between seeing a ghost, seeing death, knowing all about Stephen King, and everybody else is learning about Care Bears and Transformers, and I'm learning about The Shining and fucking It. By the time I'm 16, I'm spending the night in graveyards with my buddies and local graveyards and tents and shit, and just all into it, man. And you go either way, right? You go either full into it or totally like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. And I embraced it, man. I dig the dark shit. And then, of course, you get into heavy metal. You get into horror movies. You kind of get into all that. Not that I'm satanic. I have been to the Satanic Temple in Massachusetts in Salem, the headquarters. But I digress. I'm not satanic. I'm just I embrace all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a place for good and bad. It's yin and yang. So yeah, man. And then I guess a couple years back, about 5 years ago, actually, right before Corona, 2019, I spent the whole night at Lizzie Borden's house. Me and my girlfriend, the people that were going to spend the night there canceled. So I spent all night there. 4 months later, my mom dies. So I blame it on Lizzie. And I was living with my mom at the time because I ended up being single. This is before I met the girl I'm with. Oh, no, wait a minute. I was with my girl, but I was single before I met my girl. I only met her like a year before. So I was living with my mom, helping take care of her. She was, and my mom dies as I'm at home getting ready to watch Monday Night Raw. We were both big wrestling fans. I'm cooking supper, and I get the call going, "Mom didn't make it. She died at CMMC, where my grandfather died, where I was born, with Stephen King. The whole thing in Lewiston. It's a big thing." Wow. So I lost my shit, man. I lost my cool. I ended up just living in a tent, kind of homeless, the whole nine. I ended up getting her car, and then I get in a head-on collision in the car, and I died for like 38 seconds. I don't really have any physical record of it, but I remember the guy above me with paddles going, "There he is." My shirt's ripped to get the fucking paddles. I probably have the proof somewhere. I don't really have it written down. People have wanted to see the proof. I don't have it, but I know what I fucking know. I was out of it. Even if I didn't die, I was pretty fucking close to death, put it that way. Yeah. And this is the time with the car accident now. Fast forward is 5 months after my mom died, right? So I'm in this car accident, and it's at fucking Corona, so no one can come see me. My girlfriend braves them, comes to see me. I couldn't think of anybody for hours, but I saw my mom that day, man. I remember two things. I remember that my airbags were orange, not white, and I remember my mom told me to get out and pulled me out of the car, and then I collapsed. And people say that I was, when they came on the scene, I was pretty much out. But I remember that, man. So I feel like paranormal, like I said, it's a long story, but I'm not just going to go, "I saw a ghost once." I'm just I have a lot. I'm not knocking anybody that has, but I have seen ghosts. Trust me. I've seen some fucking shit. I've seen some wacky shit. I've seen shapeshifters. You can, if you want to talk about it later, we can, but I've seen some weird shit. So it's been around me. I've embraced it. I've talked to shaman. I've talked to psychics, mediums. I've talked to, people that blessed me. I helped Tony Spera, who is the caretaker of Annabelle. He is the Ed and Lorraine. He invited me to the Warren Con. I went, and this is no shit. You can ask anybody that's in my circle, and even him. I went at no cost to me, to the Mohegan Sun as his guest, and I loaded up Annabelle on stage, and I was blessed by the bishop, holy water, frankincense, the whole nine. and me and Brandon Golding were lifted up Annabelle in front of 3,000 people in the stage in this Mohegan Sun thing. So I've done some cool shit for a stoner burnout kid from Maine who was homeless, man. Because I stay true to it. I'm not in it to make a buck. I don't go around going, what's my name? What color's my t-shirt? I just fucking sit there and chill. And I just listen, because 9 out of 10 people that see ghosts don't go looking for them. You dig? When people say they see spirits, they're making a sandwich, they're sleeping, they're having sex, they're fucking on the bathroom on the shit. So I just go into a room, dude, and I sit there with my recorder. And
that's all you need. That's all you really need. You don't need all that.
I just fucking, it's gonna scare the most innocent ghost away if you really think about it. There were people too, man. So and I'm not trying to knock people that want to sell equipment. Good for you. To each their own. More power to you. But I'm a recorder. Heather, my girlfriend, witch and life guide, dowsing rods. Old school, man. We're old school, man. They saw ghosts in the 1600s. They didn't have that shit. So
no, and they were still getting good evidence by then. Also, just with
the first ever haunted recorder was in Maine, Machiasport, 1693 or something, right around the witch trials time. New England's where it all went down, brother. I can go to graveyards, let's say 1685 on tombstones. You don't have that in Florida. You don't have that in Georgia. Maybe a couple, but Maine, New England, Massachusetts, Connecticut. I'm in the hub, man. I've gone to Iowa. I've gone to Georgia. I've gone to Pennsylvania. These sites, movie sites and shit. But New England, man, I tell you. Whew, you gotta have thick skin. It's different.
Yeah, I'm originally from Rhode Island, so there's a lot of crazy stuff up there.
Providence, I've been to HP Lovecraft's grave site in Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Yep.
Best authors of all time.
There's an actual fort there in Jamestown where me and my cousin went to recently. It was dark, man. You go in there, like it looks like a freaking cloud when you're in there, and you could feel like the freaking like sharp pain in your chest, like pushing on you. And the weird part is, like, the crazy part is, it's like, because I'm allergic to poison ivy and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I wasn't near any poison ivy. And it was weird that luck. After that, when I got on the airplane, I started scratching. I had a big rash all over my arm.
Wow.
I had to literally go to the hospital, right after that when I got back home. But yeah, that place, like, there was like so much demonic shit everywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was like chicken bones and like freaking bones all over the place.
Voodoo type shit.
I have videos of it. It's just, you could hear like dark voices there.
Where was this again?
Jamestown. It's Jamestown. Okay. Go check it out, dude. That place is dark.
They say that was around the time that even Plymouth Rock was discovered. Jamestown was discovered. Rhode Island was right there in the.
Yeah, a lot of
Christine
people.
Marie. Sorry, real quick. Christine Marie took pictures at the Warren Con. She knows that I was there.
Yeah,
she's a good shit. She's in chat, and so yeah, we get a lot of people checking in.
But
yeah, Rhode Island. I've been through it, but no shit. I'll have to check that out. It's on YouTube, yeah, on your channel.
I think some of it's on my channel. Yeah, you have to go check it out. But
subscribe. So good.
Yeah, that place is awesome. You definitely be careful there because it's definitely has a dark energy there. It's nuts. Me and my cousin. Also my cousin had I think it was like 2 days after that, he was at a conference because he works for he takes care of dead bodies. So he was at a conference after that and he blacked out in front of everybody, ended up in the hospital. So
some shit's no joke, man. Some stuff's no joke. You got to take it seriously. You can't go in there with gummy bears just wanting a TikTok video. You really got to be respectful, otherwise you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, there's a lot of thing in the paranormal where it's like it's nothing, you won't get hit, but there's some places I've been to some places that are just like, dude, you don't want to fuck with that shit.
Jamestown, that's old school, brother. That's old school. That's some spirit's been around for a long time.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's nuts. But I wanted to ask you about the doll that you held. What was it that you were talking about?
The Annabelle.
Annabelle doll. How was the spit? Just like the energy around that doll. I have always
wanted. We didn't take it out of the case. We kept it in the box. It's got a tarot card on the box. It's made out of like Palo Santo wood, all the wood from Jerusalem, all that stuff. But the box itself is heavy. The doll's imposing. The doll itself's like 4.5 feet. It's like 4.5 feet. Eyes as black as fucking Satan. Huge black eyes. And it's smiling at you. It's a Raggedy Ann doll. But then you hear about it. And whether it's true or not, but it's got 3 movies named after it. It's one of the most haunted items known in the world, besides, of course, Robert the Doll, which is in your area, Key West, Florida. that's all older than Annabelle, but I mean, I get it. Annabelle's the whole lore, but it was pretty wild to do that. Just to be honored to do that, it's one thing. And then when the bishop comes, the dude comes, he's like a registered, when he gives you the whole side of the. This is, I don't know, if it's all for show, they go pretty far. Put it that way, because it's pretty wild stuff. Yeah. So, lifting the box up pretty wild, and the whole time you're hoping I can hold my end and not drop the fucking thing. It's not 700 pounds. It's probably about 50, 60. You get another dude with you, but still you're nervous. It's 2,000 people watching you, 3,000 people watching you. So I'm like, so we lift it up, and I went to the bathroom. I changed my underwear, and I felt good. You know what I mean? It was wild, man. It's because I believe in that stuff, and I don't want to give it the power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to stay firm, but I don't want to not take it seriously to let my guard down to let it come in either.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
I think going through a lot of shit helped me. Not that it's cool to be homeless or in car accidents or all that shit and see ghosts and 5 years old, 10 years old. But at the same time, it kind of helps you, I think, prepare, because you either got it or you don't. A lot of people aren't going to touch it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, my girlfriend's all about it. Some girls won't even look at it. You know what I mean? Let alone touch the box.
Yeah. So. No, it's one thing about dolls is like, I hate dolls. Number one, like dolls freak crap out of me. I've been into like
Chucky ruined that for me. Chucky did.
I don't even know what was wrong with our generation where like our parents like would let us watch that shit like when we're like 4 years old. I tell my parents that all the time, like, why did you freaking let me watch Chucky, Jaws, like the Blob, all those like freaking like crazy.
And you wonder why I don't want to go swimming in the ocean. I watched Jaws before I came home. What the fuck? Shut the TV. What was on HBO? Yeah, it's called Parental Guidance. PG.
I'll never forget when my parents used to take me to Universal, the Jaws ride. You remember the Jaws ride at Universal? Freaking, I was like scared to death in that ride. And then when I became an adult, I was like, wow, this is nothing. I freaked out all for nothing like that. I was like, it's just a animatronic. It looks stupid when you're like older, and you're like, when you're young, it looks like it's going to kill you.
Or the Tower of Terror. Oh, it's just a hotel. You go up there and the fucking thing drops 4 stories. Good times. That's another thing too. I think I almost like being scared, not like super scared, like someone's gonna put a gun on my face and blow my face away, but to the point where it's like, I'm in the woods. It's at night. The leaves are blowing. It's fall time in Maine, and this fucking, like I've been to Sleepy Hollow. I've been where the Headless Horseman was in New York. I actually went to the hotel, the Sleepy Hollow Church. I went to the graveyard of Washington Irving. The author's buried.
To be there.
Dude, I was bucket list of mine. We spent the night in Tarrytown, which is right by Sleepy Hollow, and went there the next day. So the whole lore of it, man, it's wild. You know what I mean? And I think I kind of like that. Most people like to go to sandy beaches and go to casinos, and that's all well and good. But I just assume go to a cemetery, an old walking path, maybe. You know what I mean? An old haunted house or a sanatorium. Yeah. So everybody's different. Yeah. But
if it feels small, it's cool to go on an adventure and go to places that you've never been before. You get to be able to have that experience and be able to tell that story to other people. You know what I mean?
Joe Misson's favorite movie. That's true. I think so. And I think it's funny you're saying about technology. Damien was saying, I think a lot of people are so into like the 3D and the animatronics and all that stuff's great for entertainment and Pokemon Go, all that shit. But man, if you own, like, they actually have museum in the streets in Maine. You go to certain towns like Kennebunk, and in museums in the streets, it's like this 1855 shoe company, and there's an 1876 shipbuilder, and you can go and there's little signs that tells you all about it. I take selfies in front of them. I document it, man. I'm writing my first book, and I'm going to put some parts in it because it's cool, right? I mean, I make a game out of it. It's fun. You get to go to the next side. Oh, Museum of the Streets number 7. I haven't got this one yet. Oh, used to be a boiler. Used to make beans here or whatever. The house is still there, an old mansion. There's a wedding cake house. The guy made it to look like a wedding cake because he went to go to see. They say it's the most photographed house in Maine. It's like 1823, 3-story yellow mansion with a white trim. Looks like a wedding cake, kind of. And the guy did it for his wife because he married her and had to go out to sea to fight in the Navy. So he made her that as a gift. That's how the legend goes. But there's a museum in the street sign with a wedding cake house. You can Google it. People go there. It's pretty wild.
That reminds me of a person who did the same thing. He did it for a girl that was coming from Germany in Florida. It was Coral Castle. Called Coral Castle. He moved these coral rocks, and the contraptions that he used, they were saying it was like almost alien like that. They were saying he used aliens to move these big gigantic. He did this whole thing by himself. Look it up, Coral Castle in Florida.
I will. I'm gonna Google that later. It reminds me of the pyramids. People say the aliens helped out with that. The technology back then, there's no way humans move those sucking cinder
No,
blocks
that's
that high.
it's freaking. And the weird thing is, like, they had technology that we can never have fathomed back in the day. It's weird, but where did they get that technology and where did they have that mindset? You know what I mean? Because back in the day, like, they couldn't have that kind of mindset that they have that what we have right now, because like we have so much technology that it's scary, you know, that
That's from them too, though. Look at our cell phones. Where does these batteries
yeah,
come
where'd they
from?
come from? Yeah, it's like how did they have that?
Plutonium?
Yeah, it's
What?
like how did they have that smart the type of smarts where they could like lift this rock and stuff. That's why some people are like, well, the conspiracy theories, is it UFOs? Is it like freaking like magnets? Are they using some kind of pulley system? There's so many theories out there that's ridiculous. Like, how did this crap happen? But we'll never know.
Dude, there's so many humans that can't even fold a sandwich baggie, and yet we're having humans that can design a cell phone and Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We're not that fucking brilliant. I hate to say that. We are pretty smart as humans, but there's something. I mean, the Egyptians drew stuff on the side of walls looking like UFOs and people all wicked and weird, like the different creatures with big snouts, like half
Yep.
human. You believe in like you said conspiracy? You ever heard of the black-eyed kids?
I've heard of that.
The kids that show up in black. Yeah, they show up and wanting to be let in. They got eyes are all gone, just
Yeah.
blackness. They go, is it eat time? They don't say lunch or supper. They go, is it eat time? Like weird. They can't pronounce things right, I
Yeah.
guess. They'll come to your house at midnight looking to come in to eat something. That's weird.
It's crazy.
That's weird,
It's
man.
Oh.
Like I was telling you, where I live now, my girlfriend lives in southern Maine, Old Orchard Beach, Portland, kind
Yeah.
of the tourist area, almost to New Hampshire. I moved up 3 hours north. I live between Bangor, right, and Mount Katahdin. Mount Katahdin, where the Wendigo is, and all that shit. The lore of the what is it? What's that moose? It's got moose. It's a moose head with wings. Pumula, that runs on Katahdin, the old Native American mountain, and that's where the Appalachian Trail ends from Georgia. It starts in Georgia, ends in
Yeah.
Maine. Moosehead Lake area. I live right up there, dude. I live in a population of like 1,200 people. No street lights. People drive around with shotguns on their back and four-wheelers and shit. So it's pretty chill. But I tell you, once in a while, man, you hear these weird noises. And yeah, I'm 45 minutes from King's house in Bangor. So I go there. I do tours. I go to movie filming sites where they shot Pet Sematary.
Oh, I would love to go there. That'd be cool. But I love that movie.
You let me know. I'd give you a deal. I've taken some people that I know on tours. I'll give you a deal, but I can bring you to his house in Bangor, and then I can bring you to where Gage got killed by the truck. I can bring you to where the truck is now. I know the guy that owns it. I got a video of that. So I do that. I do the haunting stuff. But now that I live in Maine and I'm getting familiar with shit, there's so much things.
Yeah.
Massachusetts, I know where Hubie Halloween was filmed, Lords of Salem by Rob Zombie, Hocus Pocus. I know all those sites. So I can take people there, and I do that now. I do that mixed. I stay busy. Of course, my own podcast. Yep. So that's always a lot of fun. But yeah, man, I really have made this my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I've gotten older now. I'm in my mid 40s. I got my girl of 7 years. I don't have any kids. She's got her kids. I don't have any kids with her. She's got a couple that I help with it if I can and stuff. But for the most part, man, we just focus on this. She lets me go. I do my research and shit. I love to research. I love to find out the year of things. If someone says their house is haunted, I don't just go, what's it look like? I go, okay. I look back at the platform. What year was it built? How old's the land? Who lived there? Did a murder happen there? Did a death happen there? You look at that shit. Some people don't like to. Psychics and them don't like to. But I like to know the shit. I want to go in. You agree? You like that stuff too? You like to look for the background?
I love background stuff, especially like cold cases. Actually, before we went on live, I was looking at cold cases because I'm a rescue diver. So we go like do underwater recovery bodies and stuff like that, like with cold cases and things, like all kind of stuff that goes on and stuff. We help people.
Wow! Thank you for your service.
Yeah,
man.
it's fun. It's fun, and especially we just don't do that, but we do underwater paranormal diving. We have a team where we go underwater in these shipwrecks and we like just see what we can find there. You know, underwater light anomalies. Just weird, crazy stuff that goes on underwater that a lot of people don't realize happens all the time. It's like, there's things that happen paranormal on land. It also happens underwater too that a lot of people don't realize. And diving is kind of more of like, it's a very dangerous sport, I would have to say, because like it's not very safe. But
I
that's why it
bet.
takes a lot of
I bet.
training and all that stuff. Even with the most training you got, one little accident happens and you're screwed. It's a very not safe fun thing to do, but it's real. I love
No,
it. I love diving. It's one of my favorite things to do.
especially if it's ocean diving between other animals and stuff. You got not only boats, but you got rocks and you got unseen currents and
Yeah,
tides, riptide. I can't even
yeah.
imagine.
You
Wow.
get stuck in a shipwreck. There was one close call where I was in a cavern. I had a close call. Way up in the cavern.
You got cut short.
Well, no, one of my hoses started to bleed out, and it just like popped
Oh
off. I was wearing a
no.
full face mask at the time, and I freaked out. So I went right up. So I was like, "Oh shit!"
Well,
Good thing I didn't bends though. That
probably
was a
smart. Probably saved your life.
that was a blessing there that I didn't get the bends, because I know a lot of times you get the bends doing that crap. But yeah, diving's not for the
Whoa.
faint of heart. It's definitely a dangerous sport. That's what I have to say. But it's pretty cool.
I bet. Well, I got to ask you something. And by the way, nice puppy. Hi, puppy. By the way, I love animals, dogs, cats. It's all the same shit. That is some
Yeah,
scary shit, Damien. You ain't fucking kidding. That is some scary shit.
yeah.
So I got to mention this real quick. Then you said about underwater lights. Now, dig this. If you ever come up to Maine, or I should say when you come up to Maine, you got to hit me up here in Saco, right towards Old Orchard Beach. There's a little place called Camp Ellis. You can see Wood Island Light. It's a little island, Wood Island, and Wood Island Light's a lighthouse. There's actually a dude that killed the guy that lived there. Then he killed himself as a murder suicide back a long time ago.
Oh wow.
I digress. Though. Saco River flows into that's Casco Bay. That's the ocean by Old Orchard Beach by Wood Island Light. And there's a Lake Saco, New Hampshire, that flows through Maine, which is Saco River, which flows into Camp Ellis, it's a nickname for Camp Ellis is like a nickname that the people will call it, but it's basically just fucking Saco with the ocean next to it. Anyway,
Yeah.
so me and Heather went there with my mom when she was still alive, and this is no shit. And we went there probably around 10 o'clock to go smoke a joint, said at night, probably during the July, June, something. It was dark. Stars are out. And we went there, and there's boats usually there. And underneath the boat, dude, there's a fucking huge light. And it showed up, and it just went around like a circle, like almost like a lighthouse in the water. And I thought maybe the reflection of the moon for a second. We waited, and it came back again. No, not a regular rhythm like it would be a lighthouse. It stopped, kind of came, and went circle, got bright, almost like someone had a big light, and then it just went off onto the ocean where the river meets the ocean. So you said underwater light. That's why I was intrigued by that. Is that something that sounds normal to you in your profession, in your
No, it shouldn't be I mean, it shouldn't be normal. Something like that happening like that. I also got another story here where one of my friends
like a
that was
scuba diver at night? I wouldn't think with a light. You know what I mean? Unless
no,
he's looking for something, but it'd be
yeah.
more
If it
constant.
was if it was like a I know some places like have like underwater lights by their boats and stuff like that for like to attract bait and stuff like that. But if it just like comes out of nowhere, that's something that's not normal. That shouldn't be
Like
happening in
stop,
the water. Yeah.
come back, stop, and then if it was gone for like a minute, so we get ready to go to leave, and then pow, it comes up again. I'm like, what the fuck? Now all I could think about was maybe not a submarine, but anyway. So yeah, I didn't know what you thought about that. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah, I just didn't know.
There's actually a story where one of my friend divers, I wasn't on this dive with him, but when he was in a shipwreck, he hit a pocket where it's just air and no water, and he could actually take his mask off and stuff like that in the ship because it was like about this much of an air pocket. And when
Oh,
he was there was energy there. He said he felt a lot of energy in that air pocket, and he was hearing voices of people in that air pocket of like just like weird screams and whispers from probably whatever happened on that boat. But it's pretty interesting stuff that what you could get in an air pocket in a ship.
energy that's left behind from someone passed away, someone died, whatever. Man, good bad energy, as you know, you've seen it, right? I mean, that's wild though. That's fucking wild. Because then you think to yourself, what do I do? I'm alone. I'm in there. No one's gonna believe me. I'm alone. Do I leave? Like what a trip.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff. Like that's one thing about diving is you never know what you'll find or get underwater, especially like the animals down there. If you think about all these animals like the megalodon shark, like I'm a big fan of the megalodon shark, and
Yes,
I've
old
been
school.
getting like diver friends have been getting these teeth that are like not fossilized, but it looks like it just came off the shark. And these things are freaking as big as your hand, like
Wow.
literally big. And
I love the old school dinosaurs and shit, the old school mastodons and all that stuff. Wow.
But the weird part is, I don't think the weird part is, like, I've asked people like who are into fossils, and they're like, "This is new. This ain't fossilized." Like, I really think
Whoa.
like they're starting to think that megalodon are still alive underwater, but deep, that we'll never be able to see them. But there has been sightings. There has been
Giant
some.
squids. Giant
Yep,
squids taking down ships.
the Kraken. I believe the Kraken's real. And sirens, like going back to mermaids. There's been like lore all the way up to the Age of the Pirates, where they've been like
Yeah.
lured into the water by hearing music sounds and killed underwater by these women fish-like creatures. That's why I was like shocked when I was like hearing that they're having these mermaid parties. You know what I mean? And these rich people are eating mermaids.
But they
This-
wouldn't tell us. They told us years. It took them years to admit aliens existed. For all you know, they've caught fucking Bigfoot, and we don't know. They're not going to tell us. Certain people, these rich motherfuckers, they think they're better than us because they got $1, and they're having these sex parties and they're eating fucking mermaids. Come on, I've heard worse theories. I know that sounds far fetched, but at the same time, there's a little part of me that goes, just maybe, right? Right? I mean.
It's nuts. I don't know. There's who knows if they're eating aliens and we don't know about it. There's so much.
Why do those Bilderbergs live to be 150? They eat certain things that we don't. They have these crazy. They stay young. They supposedly drink the blood of virgins, for Christ's sake. You can believe that, but you can't believe they're eating. Come on, dude, a mermaid on the fucking. You imagine walking out and there's a fucking body the shape of a mermaid on a table in front of you. Do you run? Do you eat it? Do you just sit there and fucking pass out? Like, I can't imagine.
I would freak out because I'd be like, dude, is this real or am I just imagining things? You know what I mean?
Right, but now you're the enemy. Now they're gonna corner you and take you out because they're scared you're gonna tell on them. You got to play it cool.
Yeah,
that's like Illuminati, right? You know about that shit.
Yep. And the funny thing, during that story, he had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure, to not be able to tell anybody, but he still told people. So who knows whatever happened to that guy afterwards? Because no one knows what happened to that guy afterwards. After he
he changed his name for the story or for whatever.
Yeah, they didn't mention name or anything like that. They just mentioned a fella that had he was there at the party and saw everything, signed a non-disclosure, and
all these guys were talking shit. Tupac talked shit. He was dead. DMX talked shit. He was dead. All these people started talking about this stuff and they died. Michael Jackson, he got killed. All these people started talking about these crazy rich parties and shit, and they all got sniped out. Epstein didn't kill himself.
And now
I tell you, that's the one perk about living in Maine is that I'm close to Canada because right now they look better than us.
Yeah, the way things are going on in this world, man.
Holy moly! I'll go eat maple syrup and watch hockey. That's cool. Free Medicare for life. Okay.
Hey, I'm a hunter, so I love to go deer hunting. So.
Oh, do you? Oh, you got to come back to Maine between my tour and doing that shit, for Christ's sake. That way you go scuba diving with me and they'll check out those lights again. Oh, so check it out. Can I go off subject real quick?
Sure.
Well, it's on subject, but it's so where do you stand on shapeshifters, like almost like alien being things, like body snatchers or whatever?
You talk about like kind of like what's it called? Skinwalkers.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, kind of like that. I believe in them wholeheartedly. We actually had a incident where we saw a creature that turned into a dog man like kind of creature out of nowhere when we were filming a documentary. Me and my friend that's a diver, we were doing and his wife saw it too. So it wasn't just him and us that saw it. His wife saw it because she was doing this little light scene with a flashlight and she saw this creature that went from small to huge on 2 legs and had pointy ears and it had these red eyes. And all of a sudden we looked at it and then it disappeared right into the woods.
No footprints, no hair, nothing.
Nope. No, it was gone like quick.
I hear they're short hair. A lot of these things. I hear they're short hair, so they don't leave behind.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Make a
stuff,
noise? Did it bark at you or growl or anything?
Nope. It just stood there. You could hear it walking. You could hear it walking.
No,
no noise or nothing. It was quiet, but you could see it, like its ears and its eyes. Excuse me, and everything, like the shoulders. It was like broad, and we were just like, it was weird too because we're like we said, we're in the middle of filming a documentary about the Calusa Spook Light because there's this light that comes out of nowhere and just pops up in between the trees and chases people out of the woods. So we were filming about that, and we were also seeing the Calusa Spook Light at the time, also because that was coming in and out of the woods too. And then we all of a sudden saw this creature that like literally stood up on two legs, and then all of a sudden, like you could hear it crashing into the woods. It was not, and then it was gone. Yeah,
That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Yeah, that's. Yeah, see, I mean, I don't mind seeing things, but when I like a ghost, like, but when you almost like it's a wild animal that can shred you, oh boy, that's rough. Oh, so Seth, so I go to this place. So it wasn't an animal. I feel like it was flesh style, right? Well, check this out. There's a place in Maine called Windham, 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 Maine. They had a place called Gambo, JMBO Powder Mills. It was the second highest ammunition manufacturer during the Civil War for the Union side. Believe it or not, they actually have the grist still there where they fucking used to grind the concrete down for grit. It's still there. It's half a part. It's a long trail. It's free. But it's been there for a long time. You go by those little placards and shit. You smoke a joint, walk the woods. That's what I do anyway. So it's pretty quiet. There's a lot of free old shit like that needs to be remembered in Maine, you know. So long story short, I was with my mom and we were hanging out with my mom a lot before she passed. My mom and my girlfriend Heather in the van, and I think this might have been the same night of the lights. But we're together again at night. I don't forget why. But we went there to go smoke a joint. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and we go by, and there's a long water thing, like a thing that leads to like a dam, like not a dam, but like a waterfall thing. There's a bridge that goes over, like a walking bridge. We pull up, right, dude, in this van at like 10 o'clock at night, and we put the lights on the bridge, and there's these two creatures. I say creatures, but it's like they had pants on, no shirt, white-looking skin, but no nipples, no hair, bald, with just eyes, and one is leaning down like he's gonna not blow the guy, but kind of in that position, kind of like down on him. And the other one's standing up, and they both turn their head. That's the way it looked, you know, because the guy's standing up, the other guy's in front of him. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna have they're having sex. But they both looked at us with the high beams on. Now, at high beams at night, you're gonna, right? You're not gonna. They both look at us and walk towards us in a fast manner, towards this van that we got. This van with high beams on. And they had no nipples. And not that I'm trying to, you know, but they had no t-shirt on. I could see the complete, like, what the fuck? And they had no hair, like powder. You know what I mean? That old movie. Wow. They're just completely shaved. And they both start walking towards us real fast with just like blue pants on. And I fucking get the fuck out of there. Like me, like shaved head like me, like white, but no beard, nothing like that. No eyebrows, no facial hair, nothing at all. Completely. Not that I really stared at them, but I couldn't help but be focused for at least a second to go, what the fuck's going on? Then I popped it in reverse and took the right off. Pow, pow, pow. And then, you know, went back the next day or whatever, and there's no evidence of nothing. But so a couple wild instances I can really remember. I've seen UFOs. I've seen things in the sky here in Maine. Of course, I've heard noises. I've seen different things. But there's a couple that stick out to me that kind of get my skin really, and that's one of them. Because why are these two guys out there at 10 o'clock at night with no t-shirt coming towards me in a van? For all they know, I'm a cop, right? So I just thought that was weird. They could have been high on drugs, maybe, but I didn't stick around. So that kind of freaked me out. They were like, film powder white. Yes, thank you. With no nipples, completely white, completely shaved head. Two gentlemen look like guys, unless they had really small, but no nipples either way. And they just, no t-shirt, 10 o'clock at night, and they're walking towards me. With the high beat. My girlfriend goes, go, go, go. I go, pow, reverse, fucking.
Like, where's your
never seen a van do a 360.
Be like, why do you guys have no nipples? Like, what the hell's going on with you guys?
I'm just like, yo, fucking, I don't even. I didn't want to. So, because if they're not aliens or skinwalkers, they're some pretty fucked up cats, and I'm good. I walked in on the wrong party. They probably eating a mermaid for all I know. Yeah, shit like that, dude. You know what?
There's some weird.
There's
some weird shit. Like I went to a place in Kentucky. I can't remember what it exactly called, but good friends of mine went in Kentucky. It was like there was like this like weird, like something you see at a movie where they like you see this whole cult with black robes. Like just imagine like this dark place in the woods. You see a whole bunch of people with robes and dark, you know, and all that, and they're like speaking and all that. It kind of looked like that kind of setting. I mean, no one was there, but you could feel it in your chest. But when we further went into the woods and stuff, dude, the freakiest thing I've ever seen in my life in the woods was this woman in white hair. It was a witch. that was sitting there just like kind of in this purple dress. And we all saw her, and we were like getting closer, and I'm getting goosebumps by just telling it. But the closer we got, our hair was just standing up, like no fucking joke. And the closer we got, and what my friend said, we can't go any closer because she told us not to go closer because she could feel the energy off this woman. But and it was crazy, and we're like, what the? Why is this lady just sitting here? And she's just standing there, like, and we're like, should we go?
Like
Yeah, it was weird. It was the most weirdest like experience I've ever had in my life with something like anything witchcraft in the woods and stuff, especially in Kentucky. You never know what's out there. I used to live in Tennessee.
See, and the part is you'll never know. You'll never be able to go back to that moment. You'll never meet that girl again. You'll never know what the fuck she was doing, who she was, what her intents were, right? You got to live with that the rest of your life now.
And the weird part is I know inside it was a spirit, like of a witch, because apparently back then there was like old witch house there back in like the 1800s, and the cobblestone is still there. You can see the cobblestone. And when
researching
and when you get back, and when we got back, the woman that didn't come with us, and when I told her, I was like, hey, we saw a witch in the woods. She's like, well, don't tell me anymore. Did she have white hair and a purple dress? And when she leaning over like this, and she was like doing this, I was like, dude, I almost like freaking my heart went out of my throat. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, we didn't even tell you what she was wearing and what type of hair she had and how she was sitting. Like, dude, that was
about a TV show.
I was like, the camera? This shit, like, I'm like, when I see shit like that, I'm like, I'm gonna shit myself. I'm gonna need new boxers or something like that because
there's some. Oh, what's going on? Betsy's good.
What's up, Betsy? How's it going? Thank you for joining the show.
She's out in. You used to be Colorado. You were in Alabama. You were in Florida. Where the fuck are you now, Betsy? Fucking Delaware. I don't know where you live now, but. How's it going? What's up, Daniel Lee? What's going on, everybody in chat? It's funny you say that because some people are bullshit, but then every once in a while you find that one psychic, that one medium, that one that knows their stuff. There's no way this chick knew that the girl's hair was white unless she knew about this person or knew about the incident, right? So this is really, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty wild shit. And especially in New England, the witch trials, but in Maine, is Mary Nason. She died of witchcraft. They killed her. She's got a concrete slab, about a foot-long concrete slab about her grave. There's fucking earrings on there, weed, Bacardi, pennies, dollars, hotel keys. Go there any time of the week in York Cemetery, Maine, and she's got an epitaph of her body on the front. You can see her cleavage and everything. She died at 28 years old. They killed her, the same age as Jesus Christ. She was killed as an herbalist and an exorcist in Maine as a witch. Arkansas, awesome. Thanks for tuning into the show. Show this guy some love. Subscribe to his YouTubes and like and follow his Facebook page. Maybe he'll get you on the show. She does her own paranormal thing. She's a witch as well, just like my girlfriend Heather. Witch and Life Guide. Makes her own handmade bracelets out of lava stones and fucking rocks. But it's a good stuff though. She puts, you know what I mean. It's healing and shit. It's not.
Well, I wanted to pick your mind
because that's be good. It's wild.
I kind of want to pick your mind about Salem, Massachusetts, because I know Salem, as when I was growing up as a kid, I used to go there a lot, and it was a lot different than when it is now. Right now, it looks like Disney World. And how is it now compared, like the spiritual aspect? How is it now compared to what it was back then, like in the 90s and 80s?
Man, you're right on. You know your shit. I like that. Great questions. And thank you. I appreciate it because I live in Maine, but Salem's like a second home to me. Honestly, dude, the parts in Salem are really more than likely, and a lot of it's in Danvers, which used to be originally part of Salem Village. It was taken out. Salem, downtown Salem, that's where all the lobbyists stayed. That's where a lot of the shit happened. That's where all the ritzy fits stayed, and all the people that the judges and stuff stayed. A lot of great stuff though. The first ever phone call was in Salem. Alexander Graham Bell dialed number 2, right in Salem, Massachusetts. A big sign for the National Guard was invented in Salem. A lot of great stuff in Salem. Movies were filmed, Hocus Pocus, all that shit. Yeah. But you go to Danvers now, you go to that part. That's where the witches were hung on Gallows Hill and the bottom of the hill. They have that park. And then you go to where like the homestead was, where the dude, had the children, and Tituba, the little black slave, had the kids into fits of the witchcraft, and Rebecca Nurse Homestead. So Salem's got all around. A lot of it's a tourist trap in the middle. Buy your "I Got Stoned in Salem" T-shirt with the witch on it, or buy your fucking, "I'm not guilty, but you are" T-shirt. I get it. Buy your witch koozie. That's all great shit. I get it. You're gonna make a buck. Great. Put some taxes into the town because you're making money off dead people, and that's rough. I'm not a big fan of that.
Crypt Tidbits one. No.
Did you? Oh, the movie The Witch. Would thou love to live deliciously with the black sheep? Oh my fucking god, what a great film! Robert Eggers. He just put out Nosferatu. That's a great film. I watched that on Peacock. Wow, what a great remake, Nosferatu.
Someone said, Betsy said I want to visit Old Salem, Denver.
Yes, Danvers. That's Danvers. That's where the world's oldest fruit tree is. I went there. It's 1683. A pilgrim planted a pear tree. There's a big fence around it. It's the world's oldest, America's oldest civilized fruit tree. That's in Danvers. Arkham Asylum was fashioned after this big place in Danvers where H.P. Lovecraft went. That's there still. So there's a lot of shit. But as far as the witch trial goes and all that stuff, man, Danvers is ground zero. Beverly, all that stuff. Of course, Salem is, but they're milking it hard. You can't walk down Salem without fucking running into a cosplayer. You try to go to these, Count Orlocks and shit, which is great. But the real shit, you got to look it up. On the other side of Salem is Dead Horse Beach. They used to bury horses in this beach, and they're still there.
Oh, wow.
Kids are playing hopscotch and shit on the beach, and it's Dead Horse Beach, big sign. And about 100 feet underneath him is horse bones. That's in Salem, man.
Like just playing hopscotch, and all of a sudden the shit just floating everywhere.
That's so bizarre.
Man.
And then you go to Derby Light. Derby Light is one of the old maritime headlights over there. That's where they shot Hubie Halloween was there, but they have the USS Constitution. Right next to that is Bunghole Liquor. Bunghole Liquor. That's no shit. Bunghole was the bottom of the beer keg where they spouts it out. It's called the Bunghole. So Bunghole Liquor, LIQ. Well, it was a speakeasy. It was a funeral home. Then it was a speakeasy. Then it was a brothel. Then it was a bar. And now they sell alcohol there. And it's right there in fucking Salem on Derby Street. So there's a lot of cool shit. The pirate museum's there. All the pirate lore. Next to the Witch Museum is a pirate museum, the only one in the world that I can think of, the one in America, at least for either. So there's some good shit. The second oldest burying ground, Salem burying ground. Nathaniel Hawthorne's buried there. The Hawthorne House of Seven Gables and all that shit. The world's oldest candy stores in Salem. I went there, got some 1805 gallbladders. It's the same jawbreaker type thing, same recipe. But it was opened up in 1802, man, America's first candy store, Ye Old Candy, right across from the House of Seven Gables. So Salem's worth visiting, man. Jim Brown, Tombstone Paranormal, what's up, man? Thanks for checking in. Josh, what's up, Cryptids? What's up, guys? Thanks for checking in, guys. Still my bracelet. Oh, that's awesome, Betsy. Tim, what's going on? So, yeah, I just have a lot of fun with it. I do my podcast. I do my tours. I do get to do other podcasts like this. I'm going to be a speaker. I got asked today. Actually, I haven't even announced it on Facebook yet, but in July in Connecticut at the Paracon, it's Connecticut's oldest Paracon, out before the Warrens. I'm going to be speaking July 14th of this year. It's a 2-day event, but I'll be speaking one day, set up with Heather as a vendor. I got to announce, I think it's the 7th and the 8th, rather. I'm sorry. But I'm going to be speaking. I get to go on the stage and speak. I spoke last year at Salem State University College at the convention, Salem Convention. That was wild. Got to spew for half hour about my shit. Made some new friends though, because I life after what I've been through, it's fun, and I could just sit at home and watch Netflix and eat bonbons and say fuck it. But I'm still trying to find new locations. I'm still trying to explore, document, meet new people. Learn things. We never stop learning, and share my knowledge if people don't mind listening. Halfway through my first book and fucking loving it, man. Life's freaky, and there's stuff worth exploring. You know that, brother. You're a diver, so you've seen some. I gotta ask you a question. Let me play host for a minute. Have you ever gone diving by like old forts, like how forts are like waterside?
You talk about
like old battlefield forts?
No, I have not done that, but I have dove pretty much mostly shipwrecks and stuff like that. We're actually working on doing some shipwreck diving, looking for some shipwrecks in Bermuda Triangle. We're actually planning on a big trip
fuck off.
We're gonna look at.
That's a 2-for-1. Abandoned. Oh my god, sunken pirate ships in the Bermuda Triangle. That sounds like a fucking weekend getaway. I'd
There's
win on
some
a game
ships
show
out there that's
Oh
they're
my
still trying to find that they can't find out there, and planes and all kind of different kind of crap. That they're still.
You believe
Oh
in
yeah,
that shit, huh?
oh yeah. I believe the Bermuda Triangle is the one
Bermuda
that's
Triangle?
for another story. But the Bermuda Triangles is a very very interesting place and a crazy magical place. I think because the energy there, whatever happens to play, I think it's a wormhole. Honestly, where people go into other dimensions because people have said when they've flown over the Bermuda Triangle, they've seen islands with these type of planes that weren't even invented yet at the time when they were doing this search. Yeah, and then all of a sudden these planes came out of nowhere that these planes that were spotted in the Bermuda Triangle, and all of a sudden they came out, and that was the I think it was those stealth bombers, those Black Hawk looking things.
Well, you can't be seen on radar, supposedly. Yeah, the government's fastest plane.
It's nuts, man. That so much theories and so much ghost theories of the Bermuda Triangle, where it's another why ships all of a sudden disappear out of nowhere, and like people have dove these places where these ships disappear, and they're not there underwater. They're not there. It's like it's crazy, and I know some.
Well, that's the thing. If they're gone, they got to go somewhere. If they don't go to the water, they don't just you don't go up into gravity. You fucking land, water or mountain.
I think it's to another dimension. Like, if you ever watch Marvel movies, to another universe, another Earth, or wherever they're going to. I think these people that disappeared are probably alive still, or dead, or in another universe, or who knows where they got sucked into.
Yeah, hello, Stephen King fan. I believe in anything. That sounds like a Stephen King novel in itself, doesn't it? I mean, you think about it. We think, as Jim Brown says, that's also you're right. If anything is possible, because we can't prove shit. We still haven't been to our highest mountain. We still haven't been to our deepest part of the ocean. We haven't been to our deepest fucking forest yet, man. We still haven't discovered all our world yet. We've been here for how long? So Langoliers, oh boy. I've been to the filming site of that. That's the Bangor International Airport. Right in Bangor, Maine, about a mile from his house. That's where it was filming. They're on there, and he's on there in the lot and stuff. They're in the airplane. That's the runway inside the terminal, the whole nine. I can bring you there. That's part of my tour. Pet Cemetery was filmed there. The inspiration from Pennywise, Storm Drain, all that shit, man. I tell you, it's fiction. I get it. It's fake, but there's so many things out there. It's like maybe it's not. Right? You dig? Skinwalkers, aliens, mermaids. Who's to say? I can say that's not true. Can I? How do I know? They want me to say it's not true. They want me to not know, right?
Hell yeah, bro.
Right? They don't want me to know.
Yeah, bro.
It's been my last podcast, guys. Nice doing you.
Well, brother, before we go, we have a couple of minutes left, but tell us a little bit about your podcast show and where people could find you and get a hold of you.
Okay, my podcast is really taking off. I have paranormal people like myself on there, but I'm also doing tomorrow. Actually, I'm live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. There is a YouTube channel, just Historically Haunted. It's all my replays. I've had Dr. Satan on there from Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, Walter Felon. I've had Sandy Johnson on there. She played Mike Myers' sister in the original Halloween in Miss Playboy in 1974. So I've had some movie stars on there, actresses get autographs from them. I have the regular people on there too. Sometimes I go solo. But I do the podcast thing now for about 3 years. I get sponsors. I'm also Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter on Facebook. You can see my travels to Stephen King sites, haunted sanatoriums, graveyards, all that good stuff. I'm also on Facebook for that. Let's see. I also am a booking agent for Historically Haunted Booking LLC. I'm actually the booking agent for Stacey Johnson. She was Pennywise in the remake of It. Bill Skarsgård was, but in certain scenes with his blue eyes, like in the sewer, that was Stacey. She was a villain. Yeah. And I book her for shows, so I do that too. And that's pretty wild. And I have other people too. I have other booking agents and authors. Of course, my girlfriend Heather, Witch and Life Guide. Her and I are Historically Haunted Paranormal. That's on Facebook. And if you're in Maine and New England and you're up for some tours, Historically Haunted Tours on Facebook, man. I'll bring you to some cool places. Hannibal Hamlin was America's first Republican vice president with Abraham Lincoln. He died while playing poker on a couch in Bangor. The couch is on display, and he's buried in Bangor. That's where they shot Pet Cemetery. Stephen King was a reverend. Take you there. So Adam Began, Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter, Historically Haunted, and fucking yeah, man. I appreciate your time, Animal. That was
Actually,
awesome.
I'll be in Massachusetts in June, June 6th and 7th. I'll be speaking at the Critter Fest over there in I can't remember what part of Massachusetts it is.
Yes.
But, yeah, definitely, man. Let's hang out. I'll be in that area. Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah, Massachusetts is about not even 2 hours from my girlfriend. I can get to Boston if you're up from that. Salem's an hour and a half from my girls. Let me know. We'll go get a beer, get a pizza, and do some history or something.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
We're friends on Facebook, so hit me up. Amanda, what's up? Spooky Japan podcast. I was on her podcast from Japan. She sent me a care package of Japanese Kit Kats and shit. I still got it. The bags. Pretty awesome. Cool. Pretty cool, man. I love people. I love meeting you guys, man. Thank you for letting me on your show, brother.
Thank you so much, Adam. This show has been such an amazing day. I needed it. I love talking to people that just love history stuff and conspiracy theories, and I thank you so much for coming on our show. We're going to be talking in a little bit in the back room before we head out, but thank you everybody that joining Animal Expedition Files. Please like and subscribe. And please check out Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter. Subscribe to his channel, check out his vodcast. You don't want to miss out on what days are your shows are on again?
Thursdays, unless people sometimes people go, I can come on until 8. Like I had the guy from Friends on, believe it or not, a couple weeks ago, but they can't come on at certain times. But typically it's 7 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays live, and that's uploaded to the Facebook page, Historically Haunted. But Facebook Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Can't wait to check it out again, man. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll get to hang out again on your show.
I'm gonna get you on my show next.
We're gonna have some fun, man. Definitely, but we'll definitely hang out soon. Let's talk here in the back room. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining Animal Expedition Files. We'll see you this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace out.
Lights on. Dark Realm TV. Coming soon.